Netflix just released their new movie, Ultraman Rising. So let's talk about it. Hi, my name is Jackson. I try to review every family movie that comes to theaters or streaming. And if you like that type of content, make sure to smash that like button and maybe hit the subscribe button while you're at it. And make sure to hit that notification bell so you'll be notified when we make a new video. Now let's get into review. So if you guys don't know, Ultraman is an old 1960s show that came out I think in 1966. That was around like when my parents were kids, and it was like an Asian cartoon. But this is an American cartoon, American Ultraman movie. And it's pretty good. So let's get into it. Starting off with the good. The good is definitely the animation. The animation in this movie is really, really good. They're definitely following the animation style on like movies like Spider-Verse, Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: Mutant Mayhem, Bad Guys. They were definitely following the animation style like that. And I like that type of animation style. It is beautiful animation, a mix of 2D and 3D animation, and yeah, it's also kind of like okay, it's also kind of like the Garfield movie. Well, it's not like the Garfield movie, but it also kind of, speaking of the Garfield movie's animation kind of reminds me of like the Peanuts movie animation, or like Captain Underpants animation. It reminds me of that animation. But back to Ultraman, it has stellar animation, and it's really beautiful, a mix of 2D and 3D animation. Also kind of like Wish in some ways. And because Wish's animation was really good too. But another thing good is definitely the characters. I like the characters like Ultraman himself, Emmy, which was the baby lizard that you saw in the trailers, all the other characters, the dad and stuff, and they're pretty fun characters. I really like it. And they're also not babying the movie with this one, because there's a problem with Netflix. They play it so safe with their movies to the point they kind of baby their movies. Like movies they made like Thelma the Unicorn, Arlo the Alligator Boy, and movies like that. They were kind of babying those movies and tried to make them for like a younger audience and make them as family-friendly, PG clean as possible. Like, the characters aren't afraid to use language in this movie, and it's not crazy, but it's to the point they're not babying the movie and they're not playing it so family-friendly safe. But now we also have the bad side. The movie felt rushed in some ways. Like, it kind of felt really rushed. It felt like they're trying to get quick to the end, and sometimes the movie felt long, but the pacing isn't great in this movie. Like, the movie felt really long sometimes, the movie felt really short sometimes, it felt really rushed at sometimes. It just was all over the place, and there's just a bunch of different plot lines in this movie. One plot line is Ultraman raising a child, one of them is him playing baseball, one of them is just him being Ultraman. There's just 3 different plot lines though, and I don't know which one's the main one. It's just way too many. And they tried to add, it's kind of the problem with Spider-Verse. They tried to add so much things to the point it all gets jumbled up into one thing, and they can't just keep their mind on that one thing. But that's not all the movie, but it's some of the movie. It just felt really, really rushed and was all over the place and jumbled up my mind. And the big battle scene at the end, there's a lot of death in this movie, and there's a lot of unnecessary death in this movie, and some of it is like really dark. At some points this movie got like really dark for like no reason. Like, there's a whole plot about this guy wanting to die so he can be with his family. It got so dark, so I don't even know. Like, it just got so dark for like no reason at all. Like, just crazy how dark that got so quickly. It's just weird. Like, I don't even know. But now I also some of the humor. This movie does have a lot of rude humor in it and crude humor, to the point there is a lot of gross out humor in this movie, and it's kind of nasty. Like, there's like a lot of scenes of the baby lizard throwing up and mucus all over the place, and fart jokes and butt jokes and burp jokes and gas jokes and acid reflux jokes, and it's just a lot of nasty, gross out humor throughout the movie that really doesn't need to be there. But now let's move on to the critique. So, Ultraman Rising definitely is a really jumbled story that could be like I feel like Ultraman Rising is one movie that could be 10 different movies. Actually, it's like one movie that can be 3 different movies, and 3 different movies, and just like a bunch of plot lines, a jumbled up story. But that doesn't necessarily mean the movie's bad. It was a big surprise from Netflix. Through what Netflix have been going through, like, their movies haven't been great. Like Thelma the Unicorn, Monkey King, their movies haven't really been great lately. Haven't been all that great. Woody Woodpecker haven't been all that great. But this movie was a big step up from those other mediocre, bad movies. And I honestly had a pretty fun time with this movie, and I do recommend it. So overall, Ultraman Rising gets a C+ on the entertainment scale, a 7 out of 10. And I do recommend this movie. It will be a fun watch, and it's a good time to watch it with your family. If you want to, like, pass 2 hours, the movie's 2 hours long. If you have nothing to do for 2 hours, go ahead and just watch this movie, and it won't be a bad time. And remember, my name is Jackson. I review every family movie that comes to theaters or streaming. If you like that type of content, hit that subscribe button and hit the notification bell. And we'll see you in the next one.